as U.S. Congressmen Riley Moore and Chris Smith have proposed the Nigeria Religious Freedom and Accountability Act of 2026, recommending targeted sanctions, asset freezes, and visa bans against former presidential candidate Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso.
You know, the Southeast needs to be reintegrated into Nigeria. Yeah. Not as a favor. I'm not trying to be patronizing, but because that's a key part of this country.
The matter of Nnamdi Kanu has remained one of the most sensitive issues in our national discourse.
Alright, I came across this video today and it's very interesting. And I have a lot to say about that video. And I would love you to also share your own opinion in the comment section. But before we dive into the video, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching us from and your time zone. You see, most times there are some kind of things that do happen in the country called Nigeria that we find ourselves that most times it seems to suit well at the moment, but later you will find a lot of negativities in it. Like I said, this video that I want to share with you guys is very, very important and it's a must watch. And after that, I will come to share my own opinion too. But don't forget to share this video to all your social media platforms because it's very, very important. And sit tight and enjoy the rest of the video. I'll be right back.
As U.S. Congressmen Riley Moore and Chris Smith have proposed the Nigeria Religious Freedom and Accountability Act of 2026, recommending targeted sanctions, asset freezes, and visa bans against former presidential candidate Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. The Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association, Mieti Allah Kautal Hore, and what they describe as Fulani ethnic nomad militia. The bill alleges that the named individuals and groups are responsible for severe religious freedom violations. Shared by Moore on X earlier today, the document outlines statistics and historical accounts of attacks on Christians and on Muslims who advocate religious tolerance. It cites a lack of prosecutions or convictions of jihadist actors, characterizes this as a failure of the Nigerian government, and calls for coordinated support from France, the UK, and Hungary. The report also urges investigation into cases where non-Muslims are allegedly subjected to Sharia or blasphemy laws and makes reference to victims including Rhoda Jatau and Deborah Yakubu. Now let's take a look at some tweets coming from the United States X space. Sean Nelson said the powerhouse team of Rep. Chris Smith and Rep. Riley Moore today introduced a new bill on religious freedom in Nigeria, increasing accountability measures, including recommendations for sanctions against Fulani militia and former Kano State Governor Kwankwaso, who introduced Sharia criminal law there. Nakabulu responded and said, well, how much were you paid to target and tarnish Kwankwaso's image? Zamfara State introduced Sharia first in Nigeria as part of their right because it's in the constitution of Nigeria. Christians are safer in Kano State than virtually Christian-dominated states in Nigeria.
In politics, you must be willing to negotiate. You can't have everything. And when you don't have everything, have something. Absolutely. You know, the Southeast needs to be reintegrated into Nigeria. Yeah. Not as a favor. I'm not trying to be patronizing, but because that's a key part of this country. And we're losing a lot. The whole country is losing a lot by shutting out all part of this country and basically saying, let them do what they want to do with each other, with themselves. That is really, really dangerous. Yes. And one way in which we can reintegrate, where the North-South can be reintegrated into this country, is through the political process. Now, when you say, I want that, and only that, if I can't have that, I will stay out. You could end up being permanently out. Absolutely. Because the same way you want it, somebody else will want it.
We are passionate people. We care deeply about justice, fairness, dignity, and identity. That passion is not our weakness, it is our strength. But passion must be guided by wisdom. Emotion must be balanced with responsibility, and leadership must be anchored in courage. For years, the matter of Nnamdi Kanu has remained one of the most sensitive issues in our national discourse. It has stirred debates in homes, markets, churches, mosques, universities, and across the diaspora. It has generated legal arguments, political tensions, and community divisions that have touched every corner of our federation. As president, I have followed this matter closely, not merely as a political issue, but as a national concern with deep implications for our unity, stability, and future. Today, after extensive consultations with key stakeholders, legal advisors, security agencies, respected Southeast elders, the National Council of State, and international partners, I speak clearly and directly to the Nigerian people about the path forward. Nigeria must move forward. And moving forward requires courage. It requires reconciliation. It requires healing. It requires leadership bold enough to turn the page. Let me affirm a fundamental principle. Nigeria is governed by the rule of law. Our institutions must be respected. Our courts must function independently. Justice must not only be done, it must be seen to be done. The legal processes surrounding Nnamdi Kanu have been complex and prolonged. As president, I do not interfere with the judiciary. I do not dictate outcomes. I will never undermine our constitutional order. However, leadership also means recognizing when political solutions within the bounds of law can advance national peace. After careful reflection and consultations, I have directed the federal government to begin structured legal and constitutional processes that may lead to the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the coming months, subject to lawful frameworks and binding agreements that protect national security and unity. Let me be clear, this is not weakness, it is statesmanship. This is not capitulation, it is commitment to peace. Nigeria is strongest when we choose dialogue over division. We are most powerful when we build bridges, not walls. My brothers and sisters in Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Enugu, and Imo, this message is especially for you. You are an indispensable part of Nigeria's story. You are innovators, entrepreneurs, intellectuals, nation builders, from commerce to academia, medicine to technology, arts to industry. The Igbo spirit has enriched Nigeria beyond measure. Your concerns about equity, inclusion, infrastructure, and development are legitimate. Your desire for dignity and fairness is understandable. Your voice matters. But let me also speak frankly. The path of sit-at-home orders has cost the Southeast dearly. Markets have suffered. Small businesses have collapsed. Students have lost academic time. Hospitals have struggled. Daily wage earners have faced untold hardship. Whatever its original intention, the sit-at-home directive has inflicted economic wounds on the very people it claims to protect. It has discouraged investment, disrupted livelihoods, slowed regional growth. No region can prosper in isolation from productivity. No economy can grow under recurring shutdown. No child should be denied education because of political disagreement. Therefore, as we embark on this new chapter of dialogue and reconciliation, I respectfully and firmly urge the immediate cancellation of all sit-at-home orders across the Southeast. Let our markets reopen fully. Let our schools function without fear. Let transportation move freely. Let investors return with confidence. Let families live without uncertainty. If we are serious about development, we must create an environment where businesses thrive, not struggle, where education flourishes, not pauses, where hope expands, not contracts. To those who feel anger, frustration, or distrust, I hear you. But we cannot heal Nigeria by deepening our wounds. We cannot strengthen our federation by tearing at its seams. We cannot build prosperity on instability. Releasing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu within a lawful framework is not the end of a conversation. It is the beginning of a new one. It will require responsibility from all sides. It will require commitments to nonviolence. It will require adherence to the Constitution. It will require assurances that rhetoric will not inflame tensions. Peace is not a one-sided decision. It is a shared responsibility. I call on community leaders, governors, lawmakers, religious authorities, youth groups, and civil society organizations to partner with the federal government in shaping a peaceful transition. Let us convene structured dialogues. Let us address grievances through constitutional reforms. Let us examine devolution, economic empowerment, security architecture, and political inclusion through mature and constructive engagement. Our administration remains committed to equitable development. Major infrastructure projects will continue and expand. Road rehabilitation, power sector reforms, digital economy investments, port revitalization, industrial corridors. These are not slogans, they are ongoing commitments. We will deepen engagement with Southeast governors. We will support youth entrepreneurship programs. We will strengthen security collaboration. Let no one mistake this moment for surrender. The unity of Nigeria is settled. Our sovereignty is non-negotiable. But unity does not mean uniformity, and sovereignty does not require silence. We can remain one nation while allowing diverse voices to express aspirations within constitutional boundaries. To Nigerian youth across the country, north, south, east, west, you deserve a future defined not by inherited conflict, but by opportunity. Do not allow yourselves to be instruments of division. Do not trade your future for short-term anger. Your energy is needed for innovation, technology, agriculture, manufacturing, creative industries, nation building, not for confrontation. We must redirect national energy from protest to productivity, from agitation to advancement, from suspicion to trust. History will judge this generation not by how loudly we argued, but by how wisely we resolved. In the coming weeks, the Attorney General will outline the legal modalities. These will adhere strictly to constitutional provisions. Transparency will guide the process. Accountability will shape implementation. There will be conditions rooted in law, designed to preserve peace and national cohesion, not punitive measures, but safeguards for stability. This initiative is anchored in the Constitution. We are not acting outside the law, we are acting within it. To Nigerians who may feel uncertain, national security remains uncompromised. The government will not tolerate violence, incitement, or threats to public order. Peaceful advocacy is protected. Violence is not. Dialogue is welcome. Destruction is not. My fellow Nigerians, reconciliation is never easy. It demands humility. It demands compromise. It demands patience. But it also yields peace. Imagine a Southeast where commerce flows uninterrupted 7 days a week, industries operating at full capacity, schools completing academic calendars without disruption, investors building factories, technology hubs, agro-processing centers, young graduates finding employment at home instead of searching endlessly abroad. This is possible, but it requires collective will. We stand at a crossroads. One path leads to prolonged suspicion, economic stagnation, recurring unrest. The other leads to dialogue, reform, stability, growth. Leadership has chosen dialogue. Now citizens must choose peace. To mercy Nnamdi Kanu's supporters, if release comes under these lawful processes, let it mark the end of confrontation and the beginning of cooperation. Channel your passion into enterprise. Channel your energy into development. Channel your influence into peaceful advocacy. This is the moment we choose renewal over resentment. This is the season we choose rebuilding over retaliation. This is the chapter where Nigeria demonstrates that even our most difficult conversations can end in constructive resolution. Let markets reopen. Let classrooms remain filled. Let prayers rise for unity. Let businesses expand. Let the drums of division fall silent. Nigeria belongs to all of us, and together we will build a nation where justice and unity are not opposing ideals but shared foundations.
Right, I want to let you know that every news shared on this platform is always verified. Yes, everything that I'm posting here is always verified. And at first, when I see that message from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I assumed that it was AI until I listened very well and I see how AI could have constructed that, and I see that truly, this was the voice of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the way it was written is exactly like what he could write. But that is his own side is not a board of contention. Where my board to talk moves is all about Kwankwa. So you see, all these our leaders who are trying to come out and they vie for one post or the other, most of them in one way or the other have already have a criminal record to start with. So what are they looking for in the office? Why are they so serious in coming into power? Since you know that you have already have criminal record in past. So Kwankwaso, as we all may know, that he have already contested for presidency before, which he failed in primaries or thereabout. And now I've been getting suggestion or getting this clue that he wanted to be the running mate to Peter Obi in ADC coming this 2027 general election, which might not hold. For now, we don't really know what has been going on in Nigeria and the US, Tinubu, and the UK for now. So hopefully, we are still hoping there should be election. But for now, from our instance of today, I don't think there should be election with the way things are going. But that's not the board of contention also. Now, we see that the Kwankwaso have already had a criminal record based on Mietiala and the cattle headers. Now, and the US have already filed it in their court martial that this person is not somebody that is worthy to be seen as a public figure. Now, what are we trying to say? now what will be his fate in this 2027 general election, because is people going to support him? Of course people are going to support him, because a lot of people doesn't know what Nigeria is, and they don't know what to do and where to go. Now let's talk about what you will hear about what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said. You see, if they're going to take any political measurement to make sure they shovel the issue with Mazen and the Kanu, and bring stability in the country, it will be better. And this is not, it's not like he said, this is not from the place of weakness, but most times in a democracy you listen to the people, because they say that government is for the people, by the people, and for the people. So you listen to the people, know what the people want, because you don't have to marginalize. If these people say that you pardon these people, pardon this person, and you didn't pardon the other person, it is a marginalization. So I think that he's trying to use his wisdom to know what he will do better, and and release Mazina they can, since they are trying to make a paperwork. And I think that let the agreement that they want to enter will be something that will be favorable, that Mazina they can will be considering. If not, I don't think that he will be living there anytime soon. So do well to click on the subscribe button, and don't forget to share this video to your friends and loved ones. Thank you and God bless.